To my black people, once again, welcome to Africa Renaissance Show. And this is where the pride of each and every black man from anywhere in the world is my business. And before I proceed, have a look at this video and then I'll make my comments after.
Come in humility and brokenness to repent for the sins of the leaders in Africa, and in particular, the sin of selling our own brothers and sisters into slavery. The grave sin of slavery scattered our people all over the face of the earth, where they have suffered great deprivations and loss. Therefore, on behalf of all the African leaders, past and present, all of them, I acknowledge the part that we played in this tragedy, and today we ask for forgiveness. Today, we reopen the door to our brothers and sisters of African descent to return home to the continent of Africa, the land of their ancestry, and the spiritual homeland of all African people.
To my black people, as you can see in that video, Museveni is apologizing to all people of African descent who are taken away from the African continent and subjected to slavery and other inhuman treatment. And what I have to say about this is that this is long overdue. It is a step in the right direction, and although late, it is better late than never. Well, as a black African, I recognize that there were other factors which were outside our control, which contributed to the enslavement of our black people in West and other areas of the world. But in all fairness, we must have played the role which contributed to the enslavement of the black people. And so President Museveni is very right in apologizing, for slavery. That said, I think we should go further than just making political statements. And what I mean by this is that internationally, all over the world, the norm is that whenever a senior political figure makes an apology, it is always followed by some form of compensation or payment of reparations. And in this context, there are various ways in which Africa can compensate or give reparations to returning African Americans. And I think the first point is the issue of RAD. Yeah. And what I mean by this is that Africa is one of the biggest continents in the world. The size of Africa is the same as 12 Indias, So Africa has got a lot of RAD, and I believe that if there is political will among our politicians, we can definitely come up or devise a framework in which we can give RAD to African Americans who are resettling to the African continent. And the second point that I would like to address is that of automatic citizenship. And what I have to say in this respect is that I don't see the meaning of making an apology to African Americans for being enslaved and failing to follow it up with giving them, automatic citizenship in African countries. And the current state of affairs is that, the process of acquiring citizenship in African countries, it is very time consuming. It consumes a lot of time. And I think this is an area that we have to change. We have to grant automatic citizenship to all African Americans who are returning back to the African continent. And this is good because it is not going to cost us anything, and it will have a very big significance. Because, of course, when we grant citizenship to African Americans resettling to the continent, it sends a message to all black Americans that indeed they have an option whenever they are treated in a bad way or they are mistreated in the West or in the USA. And that's all for today. If you'd like to watch more of this type of content, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Goodbye.